Greetings my dears in love and light. I'm Nikki Sutton. Orbs, what are they? Now I previously made this video about a year ago and it was heavily restricted and not even searchable, and I couldn't upload it again. So here it is as a new version. So orbs, what are they then? So sometimes we might see orbs. We might catch them out the corner of our eye or see them around someone's head. Oftentimes they're captured in photographs where the people being photographed don't actually see them until looking at the photo afterwards. They can be present at family events most often, leading us to believe that it's some sort of spirit presence there, happy to be around at special occasions. They're often photographed around children, also alluding to the fact that spirit visitors like to be around their family members. So the photos come back afterwards and we see these beautiful orbs in them. But what could they be? Now many believe, and oftentimes it's probably true, that it could be a reflection of the light. It could be dust particles in the air or something on the lens, and this really is often true. But sometimes when the photos are taken, you'll see them in different positions, and it can be rather large for a dust particle in the air, things like that. So many believe that they are in fact energy. Now, why would spirits present themselves as energy? Well, spirit doesn't need to take a human form. It can take a lot of energy actually for a spirit to present themselves in a human form. If one was to see an apparition, that takes the entity quite a lot of energy to do that. Plus it's infringing on our free will just for them to reveal themselves to us, although this does occur from time to time. So it leaves a bit to the imagination when they appear to us as orbs. As I say, they don't have to take human form, they can just appear as energy. And sometimes it's not in the shape of a ball, it can be strands or wisps of energy, and this is often seen with our eyes or seen in photographs. Now orbs, they can appear in varying colours. They can be white or blue or green or red, or any colour in fact. Many believe that when an orb appears as a green or red colour, it could be an extraterrestrial visitor or helper. We can't see them because they're in another dimension or a different frequency of matter. They're tuned outside of our visual range, so we can't decode it properly, and we just pick up on that residual energy there. Many of us, our spirit guides are extraterrestrial helpers, and they're there for us, being around us, wishing us love and care and support every day, and sometimes we pick up on them. If we're working on cleansing and activating our third eye, our pineal gland, then we're more likely to see them. We're more likely to see into other layers of existence. So on your spiritual path, if you're working on cleansing or unblocking your pineal gland, I have a video on that to help you do that. And working on opening your third eye in a spiritual sense, you might start seeing little bits of energy, and more often than not, they're in the shape of an orb. Now, there are videos of orbs actually creating crop circles, and these videos have not been disproven. They were taken on old style video and they're unable to figure out how it was done, alluding to the fact that it is really real. And here you see the orbs flying in and creating crop circles in the matter of moments. So many wonder how these crop circles come about. Yes, there are many fake ones out there, but there's ways to tell a real one, and I also have a video on that. But here we see these orbs creating the crop circles in moments, and this might be a good explanation of how they come about. Now, why would extraterrestrials or spirit appear as orbs in this case? Well, extraterrestrial visitors, again, they don't have to come along in a UFO, in a spaceship. They can come here as energy too. They can also project themselves here as thought forms, So they may be in some other dimension, they may be on another planet in another dimension, or anywhere at all within creation, and projecting themselves here via thought. These are all things that we have yet to learn to do. We're quite far off it, but we're working on it, aren't we? So what are orbs? Some believe that they are angels, entities of a very high vibration who are visiting us here. If the entity is quite advanced, quite progressed in love and light, and progressed up through the densities of existence, and quite powerful in its energy, a very angelic being, it's possible that the orbs appear brighter and larger. If we see orbs around our home, oftentimes they can be quite small, just maybe a few inches across, and you might see them around a loved one's head, especially when you're talking to them. It's a way of an angel or a spirit making contact. When I say angel, I refer to a very positive entity indeed. I don't usually refer to angels as being beings with wings or what have you, but they can appear that way to people if you expect them to do so. So I see orbs of varying colours quite frequently, but there was one instance that really stands out for me. I was going upstairs to check on my daughter, and it was all dark upstairs, and the landing was dark. The curtains were closed, and there was no way that any light could reflect in. They were blackout curtains actually. And I saw an orb, clear as day, come out of my child's bedroom and float up through the ceiling. Boop, and through the ceiling it went. It was about 3 seconds worth. It wasn't just a flash. I saw it travel out of the bedroom, out onto the landing, as if it saw me and said, oops, and then flew up through the ceiling. That was unmistakable, and this one was probably about 5 inches in diameter. Now I believe that was a spirit visitor just dropping by to visit, and it was a wonderful thing, and I got a really warm and loving energy from it. So I've had various clients and friends tell me their orb stories, and oftentimes they're visited as a child, because children are brand new into this reality, and oftentimes their spirit guides just visit for a little while just to provide reassurance or some kind of wonderful experience that they will remember and take with them into adulthood as something paranormal that's happened that might spark an awakening later on, or some reminder that there's more to life than what we see with our 5 senses in this third density reality. So for example, a child might go outside and see a blue orb right there in front of them, or they're visited in their bedroom at night. It's usually at night because I think they show up quite well at that time. Oftentimes children see blue orbs or white orbs, and they'll come into the bedroom and then disappear out through the window. And I've heard several stories of this type, wishing children well as they begin their human voyage here on Earth. Sometimes earthbound spirits too can be perceived as orbs. I was in Italy a while back and I saw an earthbound spirit. I sensed it was a woman there in the hotel room, and she did appear as a crescent shaped white energy with an orb in the center, and I felt intuitively that this was an earthbound spirit that resided in that house and that she used to live there. But more often than not, earthbound spirits tend to present as shadows or darker energy. The reason for that is that earthbound spirits are spirits that haven't crossed over. They remain on Earth, sort of repeating their behaviours over and over again because they can't let go. They feel like they still have things to do here, or they don't realise they've died. So sometimes earthbound spirits can appear as white energy, but more often than not, because of the lack of love and light, because of the state they're in, they will appear as darker shadows or darker partial body apparitions. I don't mean to scare you. So just lastly, if you do see an orb, it's often because your spirit guides or family members passed on are just coming along to say hello. You might see them at an important moment when you're talking with someone, perhaps with your partner or a relative or a friend, about something important, something that needs to be remembered, or that you're on the right track. So it's a signal. Look at the context when the orb appeared, and is it some kind of important moment that you need to remember? And when you see them in photographs, again, it may be spirit, it may be spirit guides, it may be a family occasion, or they may be just passing through to visit. Sometimes orbs can be photographed in places that you're just visiting, such as woodland or an old house or a graveyard, things like that. And again, it may just be spirits that reside there, or a spirit just passing through, something like that. And when you see orbs in your photographs, yes, it may be a bit of pollen or dust or something on the lens, or something, a trick of the light, something like that. But looking at the context, look at the orb. Sometimes in the orb you can actually see a face or a pattern or something significant as an extra message for you that this orb is actually real. So leave me and others a comment if you have seen orbs yourself, or if you have photographs with orbs in them and what you thought they were. And please consider supporting this channel on Patreon and receive extra videos from me, plus spiritual awakening support if you need it. So remember to click subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, to receive regular spiritual inspiration on your journey through life. And click that bell button too for notifications, because we're raising the mass vibration together. So go now in love and peace.